I do. I got an answer for it. You do too. God don't judge nations as well as men. Now, it's something that I just found out from a friend, Pastor Thomas Jackson. Oh, by the way, Pastor Thomas Jackson is not going to be able to be on the radio this coming Sunday night, who we've been recording and playing his broadcast. Now, if you want to listen to a powerful ministry of somebody on the radio, listen to Representative Thomas B. Jackson. He is powerful. He is spiritual. He speaks truth, the power. He uses the word of God. He uses the word of God. He opens up every night with Psalm 91, talking about. As I pull it over here to me, talking about how God, the secret place of security. There is a secret place of security right now for you, for me, for all of us that believe in God. God's going to take care of us. God's going to take care of the ones that love Him. Now, if you don't love God, you're going to be ready for the war. You out there buying your guns and your weapons and all that kind of stuff. That's just like me. I got guns and weapons in my house too. But they ain't for shooting nobody. Not no people. It's for like hunting or whatnot. I go down to the pond or something like that. Snake maybe, whatever. But if I'm in this house and somebody try to break in and burn me and my wife out, yeah, I load it up and shoot. That's protection. But the thing about it, I'm not going out there and going to harm nobody because of the gun. But some folks are finding them going to shoot and kill each other. I mean, really. You saw that thing about the policeman? There's all kinds of stuff going on. But you know in your heart what you're doing. But anyway, the secret place of security. He who dwells in the secret places of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver me from the snares of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. Noisome pestilence? What do you think that coronavirus is? Huh? He shall cover thee with His feathers, that on His wings shall thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. It's truth. God's truth. That's loving your brothers and sisters. That's treating them right. Somebody comes and cuss you out. You ain't got to cuss them out and then go follow them around and run them over with your car or do something like that. You ain't got to do that. Let God fight you back. Okay. We got about, let's see here. We got about 25 minutes or so to go in the broadcast. Let me tell you what. I have not had one single call, but I do have a response from my favorite person, Patricia. Oh, thank you, lady, for listening to the broadcast. My prayer warrior. Oh, we do an awesome prayer session. And she asked me several months ago about doing another. And I'm sorry that we haven't got to it, Patricia, but I'm praying and you are continuing to pray. You continue to pray as well and do what we need to do. And guess what? Everybody that is listening to this, there is something that you can do to make this better, to make change. You know in your heart what you did wrong. You know in your heart what you're not doing. You see somebody doing wrong, of course, just say something. If they don't adhere to it, it's all right. Go ahead. But you take action for yourself and for your family. Teach your family. Teach your children, your grandchildren. Tell them. This is not going to change until we tackle it. Guess what? The devil going to run wild. In fact, if he's running wild now, and the reason why he's running wild, more of you and I and folks that do know that what he's doing is wrong and what's happening is wrong, you silent. You are silent. You ain't doing nothing about it. You're just looking at it. It is affecting you. Because one day, when the fire gets started, the fire may be where we are. One day, the fire going to be at your door. One day, the fire going to be burning your house down. One day, the fire going to be burning your car up. Come on. Wake up. It's everybody's responsibility. It's your responsibility as a Christian. Don't buy into this stuff. Come on. We want to thank Delray Jones also at 932-222-4006 for getting this music he made away from me at the New Christian Ad we're going to play a little portion of that before we go off there. But I want to talk about an 11th Circuit Court of Appeal ruled against Alabama on Thursday. That's this past week now here. Today is Friday. In a case about voting rights during the during the pandemic. Okay, the Yellowhammer State wasn't backing down from a federal judge order, throwing out its multiple attempts to make absentee voting more difficult during the upcoming election. Alabama attempted to require absentee voters to produce copies of identification records and notarized ballots, as well as essential prohibited curbside voting. That is the heart of voter suppression in Alabama. Alabama, all these states that the GOP control, are doing things from the state level all the way back down to the local courthouse, closing voting places. They're doing all kinds of things to stop you from voting. That's why we told you if you're a registered voter. Okay, guess what? For the July voting coming up now in June, the next month, on July the 14th, you need to be registered to vote by 29th now. 29th of June. Today is Saturday the 27th. By Monday the 29th, you need to get it done Monday if you want to vote in July 14th coming up here in Alabama. Come on, Alabama. Get it done now. Get it done if you want to vote. Anyway, a group of Americans over 65 with health conditions took issue with that, claiming that the requirement placed them at a particular risk of contracting COVID-19. The U.S. District Judge Abdul K. Colonia sided with the plaintiffs, calling Alabama's arguments underwhelming and pointing out that creating extra health risk for already active voters during a global pandemic was unsafe and unnecessary. Following Judge Callen's ruling, the Alabama Attorney General now, office appealed to the 11th Circuit, seeking an emergency state of Judge Callen's order. In other words, the judge told them, all right, all this stuff that you got on to prevent folks from voting by absentee ballot, boom, it ain't no good. I'm striking it down. But again, the U.S. Supreme Court, not the U.S. Supreme Court, but the Alabama Attorney General appealed to the 11th Circuit who made the ruling, seeking an emergency stay on the judge, also sided with plaintiffs, refusing to allow Alabama to continue its practice pending a full appeal to Judge Callen's ruling. The request for a stay proceeded before Judge William H. Pryor and Circuit Judge Robert S. Rosenblum and Britt C. Grant. Judge Pryor and Rosenblum wrote that it was easy to see why the scale weight in plaintiff's favor of outside voting. The injunction, the judge said, does not require anything from Alabama other than simply complying with the election law in the midst of public health emergency. Wrote the court. Any consideration favoring Alabama are light when compared to forcing high-risk Alabama vote versus made inside a polling place, contravention of the CDC and Alabama recommendation to minimize person interaction. You know what? For folks like my age, I'm over 7. God has allowed me to allow we score 10 plus. That's a blessing. Anybody that's over 7, that's a blessing. Anyway, that's another subject for another day. The court used blunt language in assessing just what it thought of Alabama's argument. Period. Listen to this. Appellants argued that the photo ID and witness requirements imposed only a little bit of work on Alabama voters. Guess what? Old folks in the 70s and 80s, they don't hardly even have a birth certificate, to be real. I happen to have mine because my mom and my dad kept up with stuff like that and made that important. A lot of folks don't make that important way back then. Some parents, some did. That's another thing about black folks. The thing that your parents and your grandparents made important is important to you today because they dwell in the burden here. As we go on, the burden here is not the finding of 2 people or notice the witness signature to find and locate the copy of one photo ID. Do you know that you got to, if you even got your paper, you got to go find somebody, a notary to notarize that stuff. Anyway, it goes on to say the burden here is not that the binding of two people or a notary to witness a signature or the binding of a location to copy one voter ID. Hey, you know what? You got a voter ID. You got to give a copy of that. That's part of your proof. You got the original, but they still want to copy. Well, instead, the burden is tied to the fact that plaintiffs and those similar situated must risk death or severe illness to fulfill Alabama absentee voting requirements, therefore to exercise their right to vote. That is voter suppression front and front here in Alabama. If you got a driver's license, a valid driver's license, that is enough. If you got a valid driver's license, they can track you and find anything they want from you about your just from your driver's license. You go pay for something in a check, they gonna want your driver's license number. That's so they can follow up and track you down. There's something wrong with that check that you gave them. That's anywhere in this country. You can find it. And if you know your Social Security number, your Social Security number is enough. If you got a Social Security card, if you know that Social Security number, you go in there and go, you should be able to give them that Social Security number, and guess what? They should be able to sit down at that computer with their proper stuff, and they can find out who you are and anything they want to know about you. That's all you need to vote, to be a citizen. Number one, you need to be a citizen, and you know that, right? But let me tell you what, the GOP and other folks, white folks that run in this country, they scared. For what? Come on. If you ain't getting nothing, you ain't got nothing to be afraid of. Come on, let's do what we're supposed to do. The court elaborated, saying that in light of the pandemic, the risk isn't compatible to the normal risk of total risk of leaving home. Oh, folks, I'm going to say that me and my wife, we don't know how to go to this place. We go to the grocery store. We go to church because we'll keep people in our church with our own stuff that go on in our church. I'm the sound man, and I make sure that when I'm at the church, I have that mic set up and that speaker set up outside with me and the other people so that the folks that are parked in their cars outside the church can hear. And guess what? Every time we go into church to do something, you got to wipe it down. I went into church the other day with an air conditioning repairman. I had to wipe that stuff down before I left out of there. Because you don't know where the virus is. Okay, let's go on. Sure, anyone may risk getting hit by a bus on the way to a polling station, continuing the opinion. But Alabama failure to acknowledge the significant difference between leaving one's home to vote in non-pandemic times and forcing high-risk COVID-19 individuals to breach social distancing and self-isolation protocols so they could vote reflect a serious lack of understanding of disregard for the science and the facts involved. Do you see how this stuff is coming up again? You see how it's coming up again? We were told how to deal with it. Do you remember the children in Israel when they were coming out of Egypt? God told them what to do. They had some grumbling and complaining coming out of Egypt. They wanted to be back in Egypt eating watermelon. I'm serious. And eating fruits and stuff like that. They grumbled against Moses. You know what God did with all them folks that were grumbling and complaining? They're like folks were grumbling and complaining. God killed off every one of them. Killed them all off. They didn't even make it to the promised land. Moses didn't even make it to the promised land. So God told him how to get drinking water for the children of Israel, and Moses did something else. I believe he told them to speak to that rock, but Moses struck the rock. Anyway, you got to do what's right. And guess what? God hates rebellious, uppity type folks. God don't like it. He deal with it. You see what they did with the folks that were grumbling against Moses' wife? God opened the over, swallowed them up. Anyway, Judge Grant issued corporate concerns writing, and he had serious concerns about Judge County's order, which is dramatic, both in disregard for Alabama constitutional authority and its confidence in the court on policy-making judges. Judge Grant explained that he was still voting against the state, but that his reason has ground in the question of status. It is certain, wrote the judge. Listen to this. It is uncertain. Listen now. It is uncertain, wrote the judge, that the proper parties have appealed the order remarkable the revision